belief, and the belief is simple. Not until everybody's okay, nobody's okay.
That people don't understand fully about being Mr. Ubara.
It's the noiseless spirituality that leads to my social organism.
Okay, so in the next 10 years, with the way this country is going, can you boast of a better country in the next 10 years?
Having a better society or a better country is not a function of miracle. It's a function of structure.
Right part of being a Nigerian.
Resilience and the way it stretches.
Your definition of greatness.
Greatness is about exploring your individuality. Greatness is not about doing big things. Greatness is simply doing small things in a great way. The off relevance doesn't work for me because I keep evolving. Different versions of obaro keep evolving daily, monthly, and yearly. Because I have been mentally prepared for anything positive and progressive. But this purpose chose me. I'm not the one that chose the purpose.
Guys, welcome to another very exciting episode of Belief and Takeout. My name is Mapila Gabriel, and today I'm live with a very great personality from the South Side, the author of Born Sleep, the sole convener of the Read and Live concert, the man who started the Isoko Need Life campaign. And over the years, he has given a lot of young people platform to dream, and his life has been a replication of that dream. Let us meet Mr. Ubara Obaro.
All right, guys.
Mr. Ubaro, how you doing?
You can see that I'm very, very fine.
Tell us, how have you been? When was the last time I saw you? I saw you at the Everything Culture, and you were hosting that event. How was it like for you?
Okay, hosting that event was very, very inspiring for me. It also showed that Isoko people will have an identity. Like I always tell people that people without culture is people without identity. And identity matters because whether you like it or not, every source of human comes from a place. So I feel really, really great. And then I also like the fact that the event was very, very successful. I like the way people resonated with their cultural lineage. And then, seeing the men with their obaro and the women with their igele, doing all of those cultural dances. Okay. Man, the energy was 100.
Okay, so now that you are here for this show, do you have a belief you want us to take out?
Yeah, I have a belief, and the belief is simple. Not until everybody's okay, nobody's okay.
What's something that people don't understand fully about being Mr. Ubara?
Okay, one thing people don't understand fully about being Ubara is that it's a noiseless spirituality that leads to my social organism. Very noiseless spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person, noiselessly, which flourish in social activities.
Okay. So when was the time you realized that you're a creative? It could be when you're in secondary school, you're in primary school, in university days, after university days, because I think I have come a long way in this journey called life.
Okay, the time I realized that I'm a creative was when wife was dealing with me. A lot of people seeing me today would not even know that Ubara was actually from the science classes. That Ubara that was doing physics, chemistry, a lot of mathematics. As a matter of fact, I was a mathematics don. But then, when I was writing my wife, chemistry became a problem. That same chemistry I was writing and I was not passing it. And then when I write for other persons, they will pass. But then one day my dad just woke me up like, Ubaro, I see that you know how to talk. And I see you have this social stance. Why don't you switch to art? And then it was very, very difficult for me to switch because the idea is that science students are the most intelligent. They are highly respected. Why the art students are seen as some serious people. And I don't want to fall in that category. I want to be that serious people in life, which science was resonating. Okay. So when my dad told me that maybe you could try art, I reluctantly look at it. I said, okay, maybe I should give it a shot. And you know what happened? That's when I embraced literature. All my secondary school from GSS 1 to SS3, I never did anything literature. But when this chemistry was becoming a headache, and I switched into art, for the first time I delved into literature, and from the very minute I delved into literature, there was a strong connection. I connected to poetry, I connected to prose, and then I see that literature is life.
Yes, definitely.
And then I tell people that once I become the Minister of Education in Nigeria, I'm going to make literature compulsory, just like English and mathematics, because if you're not doing literature, you are so wrong. You don't know the injustice, you don't know the disservice you are doing for yourself. So when I embrace literature, I see the beauty, the uniqueness of life.
Yeah.
And it was easy for me. Do you know what I was told? They said, oh, literature is very, very difficult for students. That even students that studied from GSS 1 to SS3 find it very difficult. So I will need a lot of lessons, a lot of tutoring. But when I embrace it, you know what? It was very easy for me.
Do you know I feel the same way about physics? Physics is also very interesting, very broad, and everything about life is physics, your lights, your. So I feel like you making literature compulsory is like a shit for some people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, literature is simply life. Okay,
Okay.
so when I embraced literature, poetry actually, I connected with poetry. Right from that very day, I started writing my own poems. That's when I really know that I actually belong to the creative
Creative industry.
industry.
So how
And,
many?
and
Sorry.
since then, it's been very, very easy for me. It has been a smooth ride.
Okay.
So I am naturally a creative. And then I also want to use this interview to let people know, especially young folks,
Yeah.
the idea of like a science student is supposed to be
The
the
most
intelligence, the
intelligent and the
intelligence student is
most
supposed to be
serious.
a science student
Yeah.
is wrong. Let people look at their potential critically. Let them express their potential before they know which class fit them. So the idea of like, oh, I'm a science student, I'm the most intelligent student, does not really work.
Oh.
Please, art students are not unserious students.
Ah.
We need to put it out there.
Okay. So how many books have you written so far?
Okay, so far I've written two books.
Okay.
One is published. Then Wailing Water, which is the second one, is about to be published this year.
Oh
By
my
December,
God.
the world will wake up to see one of the best novels from South Nigeria.
Yeah. Clock it. Okay. In mastering your art as a creative, can you tell us something that you have struggled with over the years?
Okay, to be very honest, as a creative, one of the things I have really struggled with is procrastination.
Oh my God. I feel
Yeah,
like it's normal for everybody to struggle with
I've been really
procrastination.
be struggling. Okay, I'll do this thing by so, but before you know it, I'll find myself not doing it at the time I've already calendar it to be. So
Okay.
procrastination has actually been one of the things I have struggled with.
Honestly, you always have an idea as a creative. There's always ideas coming in. I don't know if you do. So how do you know the idea to push and the idea not to push?
Okay, for me, like I said, I have this noiseless spirituality. That's what people don't know about me. You understand? So a lot of people just see Barobara as just an intellectual personality, but they don't see the spirituality that floats me, that pushes me. So once I see an idea, once I get an idea, my spirituality will tell me that this one will fly and this one will not fly. So I'm guided by my noiseless spirituality.
All right.
And this spirituality I'm talking about is not about churchiness, because a lot of people mistake churchiness for spirituality, right? Spirituality is beyond going to church. Let young people know that.
So do you feel anxious when you're embarking on any project?
Yes, anxiety is really part of the game, and it's also show that I'm human and I'm not competing with God. If I'm too confident, it shows I'm competing with God.
So how do you deal with this anxiety when it
Okay,
comes?
I deal with the anxiety because I know that I'm being backed by a spiritual force, and that's where the God factor comes in.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
All right. So next year, this is not the first time you started the Isoko Need Light campaign. I remember the time we were talking about Isoko Need Turbine. How was the feedback? What was the feedback like?
A lot of people that are seeing me today would think that Ubara is probably doing this thing because elections are here, and I probably want to do this for cash outs politically. This journey of Isoko Need Lights has been for a very long time for me. Do you know somebody posted my picture like 3 years ago at the same spot where I said, no light, no campaign? 3 years ago, I was standing there with a caption, Isoko Need Light. So it's been a long journey for me because as a creative for me, and as an intellectual personality, once you are a good reader, it's not about speaking grammar, but it should reflect in your society. There is one thing that is very, very peculiar about the Barobaros brand. Wherever I go, I have an ego eye to search for problems, and I also have to make action to find solution. Do you know how it started? When I was doing community service at Uro Grammar School, one of the things I cited, as soon as I walked into the place, I saw that people were using blackboard to do their lesson for their lecture in this 21st century. And the teachers were cool with it. But for me, it wasn't cool. And I told them that why don't we go for Marcus board?
Yeah.
I think that's the right thing to do. Do you know how much I was paid for that community service? My salary was 20,000. 20,000. Even by the time I take transportation down to that place, my 20,000 is finished.
Wow.
So I told them that, come on, let's make this thing work. The principal said, are you crazy? That it is a government that is supposed to do this, not with the teachers. But because I am very, very
Passionate.
passionate about positive growth, wherever I step in, I said we can make it work. He said, okay, if you can make it work, fine. But for us, we're not going to contribute our salaries. Oh. You understand? But I said, what? Why don't we task ourselves to make it happen? He said, no. The next thing, I went on social media and I told them this is a problem we primary school is facing. At the end of the day, I was raised money. I raised a lot of money that put markers board in the whole school, and also have change with which I bought markers board and handed change to the principal.
Oh my
So I have
god.
that tendency like, what is the problem? Once I step into a place, I'm already finding problem. And it's not just talking about it, I'm already, going for solutions too. So we don't mouth alone, we drive for actions. And solution always come. And I think I am created for this.
Okay, I know you are created for this. Do you know I've always thought you were a teacher? Probably a literature teacher in one of these secondary schools because you are always in these secondary schools. So tell me the journey behind that.
Okay, I like to nurture young brains. All right. I don't want to take that professional teaching thing, but I just like to teach young people. I think I'm really supposed to be a teacher, right? So I was doing that based on humanitarian service, not a kind of a professional salary teacher. Sometimes I just walk into school, and if I see any deficiency, I want to see what I can do to correct, the
Yes.
deficiency.
Because like they say, human beings become what they see. Okay, so recently you went to Channels TV for this Isoko Live Life campaign. So tell us the experience when you were there.
Well, I don't feel great going to channels to talk about electricity in Isoko. I feel like, why should we really go all that far to channels television to let people know that we don't have electricity?
Okay.
So I don't really feel great about it, right? Although it was a novel experience for me, but I don't really feel great that I have to travel all the way from Isoko to Lagos to tell the world that we need electricity. We are talking of a national, we're talking of an ethnic nationality that has a lot of oil wells. Isoko has over 100 oil wells. Uzere alone, where oil was discovered in 1958, has 48 oil wells. All the way I'm from, which is the headquarters of Isoko South, has 22 oil wells. Olomoro has 17 oil wells. Igide has 9 oil wells. Emede has 7 oil wells. Ofagbe has 4 oil wells. These are a lot of oil wells. And apart from that too, we are talking about ethnic nationality that has 8 flow stations. Do you hear me? 8 flow stations. And then too, we're also talking about an ethnic nationality that has productive infrastructure. We have the OML 26, OML 28, OML 30, OML 60. For those that don't know the meaning of OML, OML means oil mining lease. So Isoko is a depot of oil production, and yet we are buried in darkness. So the fact that I have to travel all the way to Lagos to talk about what we are passing through before our leaders will take us seriously, it shows the level of failure that our leaders have failed.
When you went to this interview, in turn, Channels TV interviewed Charles Anyangu, and he said Isoko has more than 24 hours light, which we don't even see or which we have no evidence. Do we? Do we have an evidence?
The fact that he used more than 24 hours electricity,
Maybe he has added another hour.
so
to
he
24
actually
hours.
created another hour for God. That's to tell you the level of the mountain of lies
Yes.
that he actually portrayed on national television. There is not like Isoko having 24 hours electricity. Since I turned 20, Isoko has not boasted of 3 hours electricity for 1 week. You understand? This is me hitting my 40, right? I'm telling you that Isoko has not had light for 2 hours. So from Isoko South and Isoko North, we are buried in darkness. There is no electricity anywhere, and it's very, very sad. And you know the irony of it? When I was growing up, when I was much more younger, in my primary school, in secondary school, there used to be a light in Isoko. Then after some time, Isoko became a deposit of satanic darkness. And I don't really know what that means.
With this whole review you've gotten so far, what direction do you think the leaders of Isoko should direct their leadership into, their energy into?
I want an Isoko leaders that are not thinking of themselves alone, but an Isoko leaders that are thinking about the people. Leadership is not about how much you have for yourself. It is about how much you can give to your people. How can we have leaders that are driving big cars, mounting solars in their homes, and our parents are mounting souls in their home because they cannot afford fuel. So leadership should be about problem solving. It's about making life comfortable for those that they are leading. But ironically, in Isoko, it's about how much you can grab for yourself, how much you are okay with, the number of billions you have. And for me, that's poverty of thought. They need to change that. Okay? So let's chase leadership that will bring solution. Not the kind of leadership that will be quiet when we're supposed to speak. Because that is kind of thing we see in Isoko land.
With the direction in which this country is going, what will you have to say to the young ones coming up? Because children become what they see, and if they don't see, they don't know it exists. This time, so yeah, what do you want to become when you grow up? I want to become an oga wife. I want to become a this. I want to become a that. I want to become a medical doctor. I want to become a lawyer because they've seen. But now, when you ask a child, do you want to become a nurse? They'll tell you, I beg. My mother is a nurse and she's been suffering, she's been struggling. It's better I become a Yahoo boy. It's better I become a Yahoo girl. What am I doing in school? So what do you have to say to this young generation of leaders coming up?
First of all, I will tell every young person that is looking at, that is listening to me, that if you want to stand out as a young person, you must embrace intellectualism. Education is never enough. And when I talk about education, I'm not just talking about education in the classroom. I'm talking of education in the classroom and the one beyond the classroom. In other words, we are talking about self-development. Let our young people develop themselves so that they can be master in whatever field you've chosen. You want to be a photographer? You want to be a writer? Please develop your. Take time to develop yourself. One thing that I've noticed about this generation is that they are in a hurry. You see a lot of mediocrity that is parading themselves. They don't take time to prepare. Preparedness is the key. If you prepare yourself, your time will definitely come.
All right. Do you think this campaign was something you were mentally prepared for?
Okay, I think I have been mentally prepared for anything positive and progressive. But this purpose chose me. I'm not the one that chose the purpose.
Okay, so in the next 10 years, with the way this country is going, can you boast of a better country in the next 10 years?
You see, the function of having a better society or a better country is not a function of miracle. It's a function of structure. So if our leaders are not putting the right structure in place, I don't believe in a miracle that Nigeria will be great in 10 years' time. Because when you look at the attitude of our leaders and the way they approach leadership, I can tell you in 10 years, we are going to even sink further than we were sinking until there is a new orientation about leadership. Because the kind of leadership in Nigeria is how much you can grab and oppress your fellow Nigerian. And that's not the way to get about it. So I don't even have confidence in Nigeria in the next 10 years. If we continue on this path, Nigeria will sink deeper into destruction.
Let's become calmer. Let's become calmer. Let's become calmer. Let's become calmer. So, you're also the brain behind Read and Lead concept. Can you tell us something about Read and Lead concept?
Read and Lead concept is about brilliance and boldness.
Okay.
All right? Because I believe that students that read, I'm not just talking about students that read to pass their exams, but students that read, voraciously, reading in different circles, comes with some kind of boldness and brilliance. And once you have brilliance and confidence, now when you have brilliance and boldness, the world is sitting in your hands. Okay? So the idea is to raise confident and intelligent students that can represent anywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally.
So with the ideas so far and with the students you have come across so far, can you tell us something unique about these students?
Okay, let me tell you one experience. There was one student I was mentoring. He was actually fell with this whole category of because he's very intelligent, he's supposed to be in the science classes. But when he encountered me, after I have spoken to him, right, with the whole idea of the read and lead, he was able to discover purpose. And today, he has chosen a course that aligned with his personality and potential, and is doing very well.
All right. So let's become calmer. Let's become calmer. Let's become calmer. Let's become calmer. So do you think you prefer Coke or Fanta?
Coke.
What's your favorite part of being a Nigerian?
Resilience and the way it stretches us.
Do you know I love being a Nigerian so much? I wish. Okay, homemade food or restaurant food?
Homemade. Ubara is a cultural breed.
What's your definition of greatness?
Greatness is about moving on the positive path, right? Irrespective of personal comfort. Greatness is about doing those small things uniquely. Greatness is about exploring your individuality. Greatness is not about doing big things. Greatness is simply doing small things in a great way and always working on the positive path, not considering your comfort. Greatness is not about how much you can amass for yourself. It's not about the number of cars that you're driving. It's not about how big your house is, but what influence, positive influence, you are pushing in society.
At the end of the day, what's your end goal as a creative?
My end goal is to build a generation of people that will exploit their individuality and have confidence in themselves, not because of the money they have, but how much potential, how much they have developed their potential to bring positive change to society.
Do you have a fear of being written off in society as
I
a
don't have
creative?
that fear because one thing about Ubara is that I keep evolving. One thing, before you know it, one time Ubara is a comedian, one time Ubara is a writer, one time Ubara is a politician. So you know why it's very, very easy for me? It's because I explore my individuality. Ubara does not copy anybody. Once I come out to do something, just know that it's stemming from Ubara. So the idea of like whether I'm going to be relevant or I'm going to be off relevance doesn't work for me because I keep evolving. Different version of Ubara keep evolving daily, monthly, and yearly.
So can you tell me what you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for as that young man that did not just live for himself, but live for others to see the light.
I want to be remembered for that young one that did not just live for himself, but live for others
To
to
see
see
the
the
light.
light. So, what's an advice you want to give to every creative that has been procrastinating their life? They have been saying, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm not ready. I don't have the right phone. I don't have the right light." What do you have to say to that creative?
Every creative, you don't need to have all before you start. Start where you are. Start at that little level. And the best advice to every creative listening to me is to exploit their individuality. They should not copy anybody. Let me give you an example. Do you know one thing about Portable that I find very funny? The way Portable talks, right, makes him very, very unique. Imagine Portable is trying to talk with phonetic, trying to sound like one touch kind of person. He will not sell. So creativity is very, very easy if you can exploit our individuality. Be yourself, okay? And then you don't need to go to Lagos, you don't need to go to London for you to blow. You can blow from anywhere you are. You can do great things from anywhere you are. The idea is to have data and explore your individuality.
All right. Okay, so at the end of the day, we are coming to an end of this very exciting episode. Please sign on.
So this is Ubara signing out, the convener of the Read and Lead, the convener of the Readers Hangout, and the convener of Isoko Need Life with the slogan, No Life, No Campaign. Do you even know one thing I found out about Isoko people lately? They tell us that Isoko people are very peaceful, but I realize that Isoko people, the average Isoko man is very timid. I just find out.
Yes.
The average Isoko man is not bold.
Would you want to show more light on that, please?
Yes, the average Isoko man. They tell us that we are very peaceful. No, we are not really peaceful.
Okay.
It's timidity. We are not bold. You understand? The average Isoko man is so concerned about the little change he wants to get in his pocket.
Yeah.
And that's why our politicians are silent in matters that matters when they are supposed to speak up because they are afraid to lose that change.
Yes, that 1 5 or
You
that
understand?
bag of rice.
And do you know one thing I realized?
Do
you know one thing I realized?
Yeah.
The other ethnics are not taking us seriously because we are not bold enough. Isoko people are not the kind of people that will say, no matter what, make it evil. If you want to do boss, make it boss. As far as say this thing will bring progress. We have not developed ourselves to that level. So we are looking for survivor. That's not when we say, this one when we say the chop, so make I just a chopper. Yes. So I want an Isoko young people that will be bold, even in their poverty, even in their lack, no matter what, they are speaking truth and embracing the light.
Yes. And we embrace progress because if we think about the idea of leadership and community projects, I feel like these community projects are not directed in the right direction. For example, we have that Isoko Need Light. Are we pointing at the problem? What is the problem? How can we sort it out? What can we do? And then they come and say, oh, Nigerian youth, they are not smart enough. Nigerian youth can't do this. We don't have people knowledgeable enough. We don't have the resources. But do you think this is true?
Let me just say something about this Isoko Need Light, right?
Okay.
You see, the whole idea of Isoko Need Light, there is a problem. What is the problem? The problem is that BDEC, which what they call NEPA, do not have Isoko in their priority list. Do you know the reason?
Why?
is because they think that we will not give them the money that they need because they are businessmen.
Okay.
But the whole thing, there is a solution to Isoko's problem. The solution is in the urgent completion of the 132 kV sited in Ozoro.
Okay.
When that project was cited, the idea was that it will give Isoko independence, such that we don't need to depend on Ugele before we have electricity. So the solution out of this blackness in the whole of Isoko is for that project in Ozoro to be completed. But painfully, our politicians are not even speaking for the completion of that project, but they are speaking for the prosperity of their pockets.
Yes. Keep voting for them to
Keep vote so that you understand, so that they can make more money, live in bigger homes, and that people are suffering.
There are lots of things I really want to say. I've already said Mr. Ubara should sign out. But then again, please tell them to subscribe to this channel because they have to subscribe for them to get more and more of these episodes.
So guys, you need to subscribe to this channel because the great person interviewing me has a lot of great content that will improve in your life. So please subscribe. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for watching this very exciting episode of this Believe and Take Out. Thank you for listening to the very, very, very end. We love you, all of our BNC fans, and we hope that you are subscribing to this channel, because if you are not subscribing, I don't know what else you are doing. Please like, share, follow.